All right. Whoo! What is up out there, Law Crusaders? Uh, I am a little. I'm a little late, and I'm a little flustered. I just found out that my chickens, my son and I, are raising some chickens, and there's a small coop that we use that has 3 chickens in it. And today we came home and they were all dead. And what that means to me is that we did something wrong. We're taking care of them because 3 of them dead. Anyways, I'm not gonna get into that. I'm flustered, and I got started just a minute late because of it. But yep, here I am. Is anybody out there watching? Anybody post on Facebook? Let me know. You can hear me. I see I got only one person watching right now. I got some invites to send out to some folks who want to be a part of today's. It's the first My Life for Your Life live show. All right, the Blands are there. That's my one group watching right now. This is the first episode 8 that we have ever done live. Never have I done a show where I don't have somebody I'm talking to right now. I'm a little distracted. I'm trying to invite people, trying to invite the folks who said that they would come on possibly. We'll see what happens. See if some folks come join us on video. Oh man, can you hear me, Craig? Am I coming in loud and clear? Is the sound video quality good for anybody that might be eventually watching? Good. I think something's wrong with my Facebook feed. I'll check that out real quick. But yeah, just it's been a while since I've done a video, and I wanted to get on here and say hello. And I wanted to do it live, just in case somebody out there wanted to join in. I got a bunch of people who said they were going, so I need to figure out. I can see that I am live. I ain't got no viewers though right now. Let's see. Let's make sure I got my stuff set right. Let's see. Anybody out there? Sorry, I don't mean for there to be so much space and no talking. Let's see if my there it is. I'm live now. Oh, let's see. There's a. You gotta be kidding me. Nobody could see me. That's funny. All right, anybody out there in the Facebook world trying to watch me live? I see I got at least one more person on YouTube. How's everybody doing? Who's out there? Who wants to get on video? Who wants to come in and have a conversation? Hey, law conversation. How are you guys doing today on a Saturday evening? Hopefully my Facebook issues are solved. Anybody out there watching me on Facebook able to see there we go. Looks like we got some folks. Sweet. Good deal. Okay. I already sent out, I believe I sent out some invites to come to the studio. Let's try to see if I can't get somebody to come sign on. Oh, I got a heart. All right, sweet. Who's loving me out there? Leave a comment. Leave a comment and let me know you're watching and give me a topic to talk about. No, I'm just kidding. Really, what I wanted to speak about was just, hey, I ain't done a post in a while. I wanted to talk about the channel for sure. I wanted to invite, people to come on if possible. It looks like I got some people. Uh-oh, there we go. I got some family posting. I like it. Hold on a second. I'll respond. But trying to see if I can't send out some more invites to come into the studio. I'm not sure if I think everything else went a minute ago. I might have to look and see in my sent column. It is too hectic at our house, Craig. Yeah. That's funny. I love you too, Amy. Man, so I need to figure out what's going on. Why isn't it? It should be my it's not shut. Something's wrong with my stuff. It ain't showing up in my comments on my StreamYard. So for anybody out there, I use StreamYard to be able to do these streaming videos. And I use StreamYard to even invite people, and that's how I do the interviews I've done on my channel for anybody that's ever watched. But yeah, StreamYard is cool. It works most of the time. If I wouldn't have been so flustered and coming in late and finding out about chickens, I might not be so divided right now. But I did send out some invites, and I'm waiting on somebody to show up on the video. See you out there. Hey, Pastor Ray, I see you reacting to the video. Come on, Pastor Ray. I'm inviting Pastor Ray. This will be great if I can get this to work. I'm gonna invite Pastor Ray to come on the show. Jonathan Lambert. Yeah, sweet. Hey, what's up, everybody? Let's see. Let's get this. Let's see if we can. All right. Okay, sweet. Everything should be good. All right, let's get oh man, get some more people. Everybody that shows up, if you show up, make a comment. Make a comment. I can see you on Facebook right now. My streaming stuff isn't working real well with everything, but I'll be able to say hello. Anybody that I've sent an invite to, come on and respond to that invite. Get on a computer get on a computer and get a video going. Let's show the world all my friends and family. Let's see, Ray Baldwin. There it is. There we go. Pastor Ray. I sent Pastor Ray an invite. I believe I sent a couple other people an invite out there. Sorry, I'm trying to fix things. Oh, look at that. Got a bunch of folks coming in and checking in. Let's see. I'll send some more invites out. See if anybody. Come on, Joe. Get on here and have a public conversation with me. See what happens. Get somebody else. Let's see. There we go. Come on, Jeremy. See how things are going. Let's see. Oh, come on, Pastor Ray. Come on and join me now. Let's see. Sweet. All right, so well, I'm gonna have double volume going on. So basically, if you haven't ever been on this channel before, you haven't ever looked at it, ever seen any of my posts, I've got 8 or 7 episodes. This makes the 8th, where I got this idea to interview friends, and in the process of interviewing friends, the idea was to interview friends, and that, you know, our lives, my life, my history would potentially, things that I've been through, especially even recently, would potentially help others out. And I thought about it, you know, sort of kind of isolated for me and what I felt like I was supposed to do, my part in this world, and, you know, maybe have some influence. But then as these interviews started happening, I realized that, you know, me with my friends and family is what really makes my life special. And you know, there's a song out there. It's a romantic song, so, you know, definitely can make some comments about it in general. But there's a romantic song out there that basically says that I'm good all by myself, but I'm a force when we're together. You know, any of you out there who are Neo fans. Hey, I'm doing good. I'm doing really good, Jeremy. I'm doing really good, and it's good to hear from you. Thank you for shouting out. I appreciate it. But yeah, so the idea and the point of the shows was, it became, hey, I've got some good people out there that I know, and I knew I had something to offer others, and I realized, you know what, they do too. And so basically I started, you know, calling out some friends. Some people actually approached me, really, at one point, and basically were like, hey man, I think this is a great idea, I'll come on the show. And then what even motivated me further, and has caused me to decide not to give up, is that I had some people really come out and say, hey, you know, this really helped me, or this, I really like what you're doing. Don't stop it. I needed it, or it was good for me. So yeah, man, that positive energy is always an awesome thing. Let's see. I don't think I've invited enough people out there because I ain't got nobody showing up in the studio yet. Let's see if I can't get some folks who I know who've been on a show before and said that they would be here today, who responded to to my let's see if I can fix this. Who responded and said that they were going to show up. Who's that? Got 8 of you out there right now. Got a lot on Facebook. Hey everybody, how's it going? If I haven't sent you an invite yet and you'd like to get on the video, come on, get on the video. Talk to me. It's easy. It's easy. It's no different than Zoom. You ain't gotta look pretty. Look at me. And then leave this room. This room is going to be my office. I changed it up. I was in the bedroom and I had a nice little setup going on. And that's another reason why I was all frazzled and late today, because I was struggling for sure to change where I was at. But I got up here, got set up. We're good. I'm good to go. Good to go. Trying really hard to get it to where I need to be able to get this to where I can see all my Facebook comments at the same time I see my YouTube comments. Mm-hmm. And it looks like I'm getting there, but it's taking me forever. And it's not letting me search for StreamYard. Hey, anybody out there that I've invited or that would like to, come on. Open up that link, click on it, get on computer. Sweet. What's up, Donnie? Archie. It's cool. Let's see if I can. Let's see. Still trying to business integrations. There it is. I think I found it, y'all. It's gonna make things way easier for me. Let's see. Follow these instructions. Manage non-public information. View and edit. I'm there. View and edit. And I need to see. Make sure it says public. Where's it at? Oh, there it is. Boom. Okay. Public. Save. Sweet. Oh, hey, somebody that's watching on Facebook, message me now so I can see it on. What up, Donnie? Oh, here we go again. Somebody on Facebook messaged me so that I can make sure it's coming up on where it's supposed to. Yeah, there we go. Let's see. Rachel, no, that's a notification. I need to turn off all my notifications. So, what's up? Let me see. Donnie, you want to get on here? Mr. Archie? Let's send you a message. Man, it's not working. Uh-oh. All right, so I got nobody responding to the studio invites out there. Somebody's gotta want to get on video and say what's up. But anyway, so let's get back to what I was talking about, because I know I'm all distracted. This is why I don't do live videos, because I can't manage to pay enough attention to what I'm supposed to be watching. But go ahead, shout out if you know who I am and you've been around me wasn't able to pay attention. See, like I can't even so what's happened is nobody's commented yet from Facebook, or at least I don't think they have. And who's this? Hey, look, y'all, I have a special guest for everybody that's watching. This is a good one.
Goes to Mr. Marcus.
Hey there, Mr. Bill Steiger. How are you doing?
All right, man. How you doing?
Is that your real hair? You got a wig on.
Yes, sir. That's it.
Yeah.
Look at you go.
I love it. You got me beat big time, but you don't have this problem. You don't have.
No, I don't. I got it in the back a little bit, But yeah. I tried growing the retirement beard and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
my wife doesn't like facial hair, so 4 years ago I started shaving every day and stopped getting a haircut.
That's funny.
You remember Justin Law?
She's like, hey, give me on video. Tell her that was live. Let everybody in the world just saw her. Or at least the 9 people that are watching right now.
Mm-hmm. How you been, man?
Good, Bill. How about you?
Oh, doing all right. Fully retired and wintering over in Florida. Yeah, we've been doing that. Huh?
No, it's summertime. You're in New York right now, right?
Yeah. We're still in New York. We'll be here until like the day after Christmas, and we go down to Florida, Fort Myers Beach area for 4 months. So.
Good deal. I dig it.
Yep.
How's life? How's the family doing? How's
everybody's good, We're just maintaining. Willie's 3 kids, they're all playing hockey now. Ice hockey. And they started practicing this week and stuff, so they'll go through the winter playing hockey. And Alicia's 15. She's got a job at the ice rink as a skate guard. And Zoe and Liam Liam, my grandson, my youngest grandson.
Yeah.
The boy is all Steiger and he's all boy.
Oh man.
But yeah, we're still hanging that abundant life, and everything's good, man.
Good.
Yeah. Had to put my dog. We had to put our dog down last week. He was old. He was almost 17 years old, and he just he just told me it's time, Dad. So
yeah. Yeah, we have a Italian Greyhound. He's getting old. He's been a star on one of my videos for a minute there, anyways.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we got him there in New York actually, and I don't imagine he's gonna make it much longer. I really don't.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, he was with us for 14, 15 years.
Wow.
So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, since 2009 we got him in 2009. So, but yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Wow. So that was just last year then?
Huh?
You said? Last year was when you had to put him down?
No, last week.
Oh, last week.
Yeah.
Wow, what kind of dog was he again?
He was a little schnauzer. He looked like Chewbacca. Had some Yorkie in him and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
so
he lived a long life, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. It's like in one of the comments for him, somebody said, Bill, you're always saying ain't it great to be a Steiger? And Scruffy, he was a Steiger all the way, So how's Mississippi treating you?
Whew. It's hot. It was really hot today, and I'm pretty sure that the heat is what took some chickens. I don't know if you heard me. I was having some, kind of having some technical difficulties, but yeah, we have 2 coops. We have a big coop
Right.
with all the chickens. We have a little coop with just 3 of them, and it looks like the heat killed the 3. I don't know though. It's hard to say because I'm not entirely sure what did it, because we just had moved. We had one rooster that we actually slaughtered, and
Right.
we're going to eat him eventually. And then he's in the freezer right now.
Yeah.
And then we put another rooster in with him. And,
Right.
And they were fine this morning. They were there, but my son has a little bit of a problem with understanding that, like, just because there's some water in their thing doesn't mean you don't need to take it and go fill it up.
Yeah.
And he went out there, the water's bone dry, and awkwardly they were inside their house has ventilation, but it's not enough for 102-degree weather. And
Right.
there, and they'd all passed. It just stinks. I'm not happy about it. Sad, but and they were 2 really good egg-laying hens. But that just goes to tell you that, like, how is Mississippi? Mississippi is country, and I'm farming now. And crazy enough.
Yeah. Nice.
And yeah, so and I'm working full time.
Where are you working?
I love it. I'm still working basically the same place where I got a job at here.
Oh, okay.
But what caused me to move out here? Nuclear power plant.
Yeah.
It's working for Entergy, is the name of the company, and yeah, you know, the nuclear power, can't get away from it, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I got out of that game a few years ago, man.
yeah.
Yeah. So it was like I discovered that corporate America has no heart or soul.
I don't disagree with you. You are
Yeah.
correct.
Yep.
That's definitely
But
where I'm at right now in life. I'm trying to figure out whether or not I want to keep doing, nuclear power. And I hate to say that because I don't want. Hey, look who's here. Brandy, did you see who I was talking to?
I did. They're watching it downstairs.
Everybody's watching downstairs.
hey, Brandy.
Oh goodness!
Come on in.
I don't know if I can fit in.
We're on
Hey,
a portion of the sectional couch.
That's
It's Bill.
look
good.
at you haven't aged a day since I saw you last.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So neither of you. We're
Oh.
we're all still young looking, right?
Right. Right.
Mhm.
So Justin, I got to tell you what well, you remember I have a motorcycle, right?
Yeah.
So I joined the Patriot Guard Riders, and I do funeral escorts for fallen veterans now.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy, It's just like I do like one funeral a week.
Man.
So, and it's well, you remember the Saratoga National Cemetery?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're up there doing military funerals. Whenever we're requested to escort a funeral procession by motorcycle.
That
So-
is crazy.
But anyway, yeah, everything else is good. Pastor Glenn, he's still pastoring and getting it on, and yeah.
I said, you know what? I'm gonna send him an invite right now. I already gave him an invite to the event, but I'm gonna send him one right now. Hey there, David Gillespie. I brought on a friend, Bill, to the chat. This is He's a good friend of mine from the Navy. I didn't, I wasn't entirely sure there, David, how this was going to go. But interestingly enough, I need to introduce you, Bill, to the audience. There's not many people watching right now, but who knows how many will end up watching. And for everybody's, understanding, Bill here is a good friend from Saratoga Springs, New York. When I was stationed up there, my first tour up there in upstate New York, and a lot of people who watch these videos will kind of piece together, was I went to a church there called Saratoga Abundant Life. And Bill was a member there. And we've had still a member there. Sorry. Yeah, and we had some very impactful moments in our life up there, and we love the people. And I'm hoping that some of them get on here. I've got a couple of folks that were saying they were going to show up, and I sent them invites, so I'm waiting for them to say what's up. But
there you go.
I definitely, if whether you're still on here when I tell the story or I tell the story later, Bill, I got a couple of stories I got to tell. At least one that's so impactful in my life. And to the theme of my life for your life, that it's huge. I may have even, to be honest with you, Bill, I think I might have even briefly told the story about that time you messaged me, and it was so impactful. But I'll tell it here in just a minute. Let me get to my other friend down here, Mr. Gillespie. What's up, brother? How are you?
JT Law, man. Are you kidding me? I cannot believe I have not talked to you in years. It's been, 12 years now?
And forever, yeah.
It's been 12 years.
Yeah, man. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time, bro.
Yeah. Bill, and for the audience, let me you know what? Actually, let me do this, because this is what I was going to do. I already had this in mind. Gillespie, why don't you tell Bill here and tell the rest of the audience, anybody that ends up watching or is watching, how many of you know each other?
Well, I got to know Mr. Law here as my he wasn't a chief, but he was a chief petty officer on the Mississippi, and he was a Texas boy, and he had many conversations about religion and about what life really is about. And the reason I joined today is because I wanted to let Jason or Justin know that I found Christ. So,
all right,
man,
nice,
Mr. Law, Christ in your life is a place to be.
Yep.
And we knew each other in the Navy. We knew each other out on Mississippi, and it got better. Everything in my life got better. It got a lot worse before it got better. But when I went back to my church and back to my religion and back to my Christ, my life got infinitely better. And things have gotten great. And what you preach is true. I mean, it's true. I mean, straight up. And it's not just about, when you go to church and you see all these people that, believe in going to church and just doing the same thing over and over again. And Justin will tell you, I'm the most, I'm very good about telling people what I feel. And I can tell fake people. And most people that go to church are fake. And when I went back there, I told the pastor when I showed up to church, I said, I'm crawling because I need someone to help me out. And Justin tried to tell me to take Christ in my life and do things right. And when I was not able to hear it at that time, but he was absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. and it has made my life. I met my wife in church. I got my kids. I got custody of my kids. I got her kids, and we are raising all 5 boys in a really great place right now. And it was because I crawled into church and begged the pastor to help me, and he did. And that's it's not a joke. It's not bullshit. It's a belief. And when you believe in Christ, you get better things. And I just wanted to come over here and just tell y'all that thank you. I wish I would have known better back when we were on the Mississippi together, because I did not know. I didn't understand it. I did not understand it. But I do now.
I would say this, David. You definitely, you at least had one leg up on a lot of people. And I know that sounds crazy, and I have Christian friends that would probably not be okay with me saying this, but at least at a place where you started, where you believed that there was something greater than yourself out there, and you were definitely.
I was an asshole. I was a complete jerk. 100%.
Listen, hey, we all have been. Listen, since you've known me, I've been a complete jerk now 3 times. All right. Matter of fact, since we're talking, only three.
No, I'm serious. I'm serious. I mean, Justin. I mean, we talked about what leadership is in the military versus civilian. Do you remember that conversation we had? And I remember telling you, no, and leadership in the civilian world is not the same as in the military world. And you and I had it all out, and I think I was right. I think I was right. However, you've never come from a place of anger, or you've never judged anybody. Like, you were always really good about accepting everybody for who they are. And what I didn't understand at the time is that the leadership was not about military or civilian. What it was about leadership as a follower of Christ or not. And
right.
I got friends who are Jewish. I got friends who are Muslim. I mean, everyone has their own religion. But when I chose to follow Christ, and I chose to follow that way, my life, and you know how fucked up my life was back in those days. And it got infinitely better almost immediately. It was like I had a family. I walked into a church, and I told the main pastor, I said, listen, you don't know who I am. I don't know what I'm doing. I just need somebody. What can I do? How do I make this happen? And he said, stop. Don't worry about it. Just tell me everything you're feeling. I broke down. I cried. I mean, he made me the toughest guy in the world, I thought, at the time. Cry like a little girl. And I did. I bawled. I really did. I mean that. I bawled. And he just took me in his arms, and he said, hey, you know what? Next Sunday, we have Vacation Bible School. You got little kids, right? I said, yes, sir. And he goes, okay, put them in Vacation Bible School. You go to this school, and we're just gonna talk. And man, I've never been better in my life. It's been fantastic. It's been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say, Justin, I was wrong. You win, bro. I was absolutely incorrect.
No, God wins.
Yeah,
God
right.
wins.
That's right, Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So yeah, in my case, I was arrogant. I was
Yeah.
I'm retired Air Force, you know, and
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry you didn't score high
Just-
enough on the ASVAB is what I'm sorry about.
Well, I scored 99, but whatever.
Yeah.
What
But,
he's saying,
I'm just
he
kidding. I'm sorry.
absolutely
I'm sorry.
chose the wrong brain.
It was way too easy. Way too easy. Way too easy.
But
Sorry.
yeah, there was I was a kid. I was like 8 years old when I first got saved, you know, and went through youth group and the whole 9 yards. Grew up in a Baptist church and stuff, and I walked away, you know, for like 13, 14 years, and then came back and rededicated my life to the Lord. And in that, you know, I started developing my relationship. But the other side of me, I got arrogant. You know, people would ask me a question, or, you know, why do you do that? And I'm like, because I'm Bill, and that's all you need to know. That was my standard answer.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
until I got humbled. You know, and I found my humility by being humiliated. You know,
Actually,
so
I could not agree with you more. Could not agree with you.
yeah,
My life got better when I got beat down, because
Yeah.
you know what? I'll be honest with you. I've never lost anything. I've never lost a battle. I've never lost a fight, and I thought I was the man. I really did. I thought I was the fucking man, and I was the
Yep.
smartest guy in the room, and everyone else was stupid. And
Mhm.
Justin can tell you this for a fact, that I was that arrogant. I was that prick. I thought I was better than everybody. And the Navy, you know, God bless the Navy, because I got knocked down a bunch of pegs. And
Right.
then when I left the Navy and I was married to a very bad person, and I had a choice. And she was going to take all my kids away from me, and I was going to lose everything. And I walked into this church. I'm telling you, I tell everyone, I didn't walk into it. I crawled into it. And then when I crawled out, actually when I walked out, I crawled in, I walked out.
Mhm.
And when I walked out, I had a team of people behind me. I had everyone I needed to talk to, and I gained custody of my kids. I got a great job making enough money to provide for everyone, and my life got not just good, it was infinitely better. And all I had to do was give myself over to God
Mhm.
and give myself over to Jesus Christ and go back to my roots, which I'm a Methodist, so I don't know what you guys are, but I'm a Methodist. And so we drink, we smoke, we don't give a fuck. We're not Baptists. We're not. And that's okay, but we are who we are. However, I've never had more people support me so quickly, and I got everything I needed.
Right.
And honest to gosh, I really do remember, Justin, I'm telling you for a fact, you remember us having these conversations where I was a liberal piece of crap, and I really did. I said some terrible, stupid
Well,
stuff.
Hey, Democrats can love Jesus too.
No, you're right. It has nothing to do with politics. You're right. I should not say that. Go Biden. Anyway. But no, honest to goodness. No joke. If it wasn't for those conversations, I don't think I would be where I am today. I mean, I really was. I'd be one of the 22. I would have killed myself because I was at that point. I was at the point where I was so depressed and so angry and so mad, and people who I didn't even know just loved me for no reason. They had no reason to love me, but they chose to just because I needed love. and they saw. And that's the best thing about being a part of that kind of community is the love, man. It's having people that love you.
You got to think of it this way. All right, this is how I think of it: is we're all children of God. All right, so which makes us brothers and sisters, and we're family. You know, as dysfunctional as it is, as awesome as it is, we're family. You know, and every Sunday morning, I walk into my living room, and I'm there with my family, and we're talking and singing and having a good time together and having fellowship, you know, and that carries on to the next day and the next day and the next day, you know.
Yes, I do know. And you know, I've got 2 stepkids now, and Braden is my older stepkid, and he's going to be 15 years old, and he's a challenge. However, he wants to go to church on Sunday nights all the time, and I don't want to drive him there. I want to go home and just chill out, and he forces me to go to church every Sunday night and drop him off. I mean, it's true. Like, I want to just not do anything, and he says, "Oh, well, I want to go to, you know, we call it Food Mac, but it's what do you call that? It's not Sunday school. It's when the kids get older, they get involved in this community youth group. Yeah, youth group.
Yeah,
and he's an annoying pain in my ass all the time. He really is. But he wants to go to youth group every Sunday. And when I see him doing this, I'm going, wow, like, why are you into this? And he goes, well, I like it. Like, I like the people. I like the situation. And I said, well, are you doing it just because it's making you popular or because you actually enjoy the message? And he goes, well, I mean, I don't know what Christ really is yet, but you told me that after we got done with when they're in 6th grade, they go through confirmation, that it's up to them to take on church on their own. And he goes, I enjoy the community, I enjoy the people, and I enjoy like what I'm doing. And he goes, I want to be around that. I go, you know what? God bless you. Then I'm going to make sure you're there. He enjoys just being around the people, and that's what it's about.
And yeah, exactly. And you know what? You should be at the point now where on Sunday nights you should be asking them, "You ready to go? You ready to go?" All right, I got my keys in my hand.
I don't have to tell him. He tells me. He tells me.
You know, because a 15-year-old boy right now, these days, what are they into? 100%. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And you got a son who wants to go to your youth group.
Oh, he is so excited about it every single
good.
Day. Yes, absolutely.
You know, and you shouldn't be dragging him. He should be, yeah, you should be dragging him. He shouldn't be dragging you to the car to drive him. You know.
I couldn't agree with you more. And here's the thing: is that I told him, like, you know, we talk about politics, and he asked me about, like, you know, the transgender stuff, and I go, listen, it doesn't. I told him, I said, listen, we'll get into that when you're a little bit older. I said, but you got to go back to Christ, and you got to remember this stuff. I said, whether you believe it or not, or whether you agree with it or not, the one thing that you have to do is love everybody. I said, I have my own opinions, and we can get into this or not. I don't want to, like, make this political at all. But I said, listen, you just listen to people, and you make up your own mind about what you think is right or wrong. But I think what Jesus did was he loved everybody. However, you're gonna have to figure this out for yourself. And he went, okay, I don't know how I feel about this yet. And he told me that. He goes, I don't know how I feel about this yet, but I'm gonna think about it. I said, that's fair enough. And that was one of the best things you could hear from a 14. He's 14 years old.
Right.
And he said, I don't know how I feel about you yet. I'm going to think about it. And I think that's the best thing I could hear from a 14-year-old.
Yeah. Just remember, Jesus told us to love the sinner but hate the sin. All right. So when you can separate those two, you're going to get a lot more mileage out of it. All right.
Well, it's a tough conversation nowadays.
It is. I'm not, yeah. I got girls your boy's age.
I can tell you how I feel about it, but
no, don't do that.
I do my best to not.
We could be here all night. We could be here all night.
Exactly. So I'm not trying to preach anything, but the fact that my kid, he's not even my kid, he's my stepkid, and he has that much. He's so he's not the smartest kid in the world. He's not the brightest bulb, ever. He's not the sharpest tool in the shed. Let's put that way.
He's 15. They're all like that.
But he's great. He's great.
Yeah.
But at least he's willing to think. He's willing to think. He's willing to do more, and he wants a relationship with Christ.
Good.
I mean, how much better could you get?
Well, I can tell you he's a lot sharper than you're giving him credit for.
I think that's correct. I can't tell you how proud I am. I really am.
Good. So,
good deal. Well,
anyway,
yeah, guys, it's been great to see you. Say hi. For sure.
So, yeah, definitely. All right, Justin, what's your story, man?
Yeah, let me.
What's your story?
Where are you at? Yeah, seriously,
David,
where are you at, man?
Who, me?
Yeah, you, Justin. Where are you at?
Oh, I'm at a really good place, David. I'm at a really, really good place. Matter of fact, tomorrow morning I'm preaching at a church.
Is that your wife right there?
Nice.
Randy, yeah.
That's your wife? You girl, you can leave him. You can do way better.
That's what a lot of friends say. I'm sure Bill said it at one point in time since we've known.
I think I did a long time ago.
But so let me tell you this story about where I was at one point, David. I'm at a good place now.
Please.
That Christ is, Jesus is so much my life and a part of it. He has been though ever since you know me. Let's just say that there's been some times where I was frustrated. I wasn't in the right frame of mind, and I definitely was living life in ways that I shouldn't have. But in one of those point in times, one of those really low points, I was really messing things up. I was in a bad spot, and I knew it. And I understood it. And at one point, I got so down and out, and I felt so disconnected from something that I had usually always been connected to. And that was definitely, just the Spirit of God on this earth, the Holy Spirit. I always had, even in some of my worst of times, I always had a little bit of connection. But at this point, things were so rough and they were so bad that I was in the Navy. I was in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and got to a point in a place where, like you were talking about earlier, I wanted to end it all. It was actually kind of awkward because I used to never let myself go there. I've actually been there since that time twice at least. And every time that I've ever felt that way, I was scared because I always, I was raised and taught and believed that it was not okay to take your own life and it was not the way to go out. And so it's almost like I felt like something from the outside pressing in on me. You could say evil, right? A spirit that was trying to convince me of something that I didn't really believe or want to believe. And I was at a really, really low place. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you. And I was sitting in my barracks room. I was a chief on the New Hampshire, by the way. You remember New Hampshire?
Yeah, I remember New Hampshire.
Yeah, so I left
New
Mississippi. I made chief at Prototype, and I did my chief's tour on the New Hampshire. So we had pulled into the shipyard, and basically I was geobacheloring again, and it was miserable. And I was drinking a lot, way, way too much. And I was definitely not, like I said, no little to no connection with God. I had one friend who would kind of every once in a while call me out, but even then, and even when I come home for the weekends, it was just immediately drinking and partying, and there was all kinds of stuff going on around our life that was just no good. And I'm sitting there in my barracks room, and of course,
that sounds nothing like you. I'm sorry, I just want to say that sounds nothing like you.
Like
the
me?
guy that I knew, that was not.
Yeah, I know, brother.
Yeah.
I know. Trust me. That's how a lot of people, even who knew me, saw it, and were concerned. Obviously, I still had friends and family that were paying attention, and so I'm sitting there. This gets good. I'm sitting there in my room, and I'm just thinking, how can I? I don't have any guns or anything, so thank goodness. But I'm literally scaring myself with the thought of how can I just end this all right now. And I actually asked myself the question. I'm sitting in my chair. I'm holding my phone just kind of down at my side. And I asked myself the question, and I definitely was directing it towards God, like, is there even any hope? Is there any way I can even get back? Is there any way that I can even, I feel like I'm done for. I'm finished. And then I started again having those thoughts of wanting to end it all. And right as I asked that question, my phone dinged. And I was like, no big deal, right? I didn't know. I'm almost kind of in tears a little bit because I'm so messed up. And I looked at my phone and I had a message from a guy who I hadn't talked to in probably, good 2 years, maybe 3, maybe more. And that was Bill Steiger, the gentleman you see here on the screen with us. And I love that. And it was like ding, answer to my question. And Bill says in his message, "Hey brother, I was just thinking about you. I had a dream about you the other day, and it had something to do with you, and it had something to do with Brandy. And I asked you how y'all were doing, and you said good, and then you kind of ignored me when I asked how Brandy was doing." Now, Bill, we believe that there was some things that had to do that we needed to pay attention to in the future. Trust me, some really cool things came out of that whole Brandy situation. But then his next statement was in that message, or like his next message that he sent me was, and I told Pastor Jim. Jim was, by the way, David, Pastor Jim was one of the pastors at this church, and he was a good friend of mine. Like, I was probably more connected to him than I was many of the people in the church. I was really close with him. And Bill went up to him and said, "Hey, I had this dream about Justin." And Pastor Jim told him, "Don't talk to him about it until you feel it's the right time, until you feel led." And I
remember that.
I look at this message and I look up to heaven. I throw my phone on the ground. I'm like, seriously? Like, I look up there. I start yelling at God. I'm like, do you really, really still care about me? Like, do you really care about me? And then there was a series of events that happened after that were a first step in the right direction and a good change in my life. And it was crazy.
I'm glad I could help.
Yeah, Bill, thanks. Thanks for being a willing vessel.
I'm glad too. I appreciate it.
No, seriously, Bill, that's an amazing story.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you this: when I left Mississippi, and I don't want to waste much more of your time. I'm sure you got other things to do. But
No, I'm just, no, you're good.
I'm gonna go check
Okay.
on the kids and see if they're leaving.
When I left the Mississippi, I had made a kid, and he was still a year old, and I adopted my daughter, who was my first wife's daughter. And when I met her, my wife, she was 3, and when I knew you guys, she was like 7. And I finally adopted her. And when I left the Navy, we did foster care, and we went through a bunch of kids. And it was actually very difficult. I'll be honest with you. Fostering is not easy, and I ended up with twin boys, and we fostered them from the time they were born till they were 9 months old. And I got a job in a paper company, and I became very successful. But when I how to describe this? We ended up adopting the kids. So I had 3 kids I adopted, so I had 4 total, and it was hectic for me because I was working all the time, and my ex-wife she's not a good person. And you want to, it's hard to talk about people, your exes, because everyone says your ex is crazy or your ex is this or that. But for some reason, I took a job in Alabama, and I ended up with going after custody for my kids, and I didn't think I had a shot. No, she actually got me arrested for domestic violence twice. So I got arrested in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and Birmingham, Alabama. I had to go and spend 24 hours in jail because that's the minimum that you have to do. And I thought my life was over. Like, I thought I was done. And this was before I went to the church. And so I was trying to do it all on my own. And I went to, and I spent 24 hours in Tuscaloosa County, or Tuscaloosa City Jail, and Birmingham County Jail, which is where Martin Luther King, by the way, stayed in the Birmingham jail. So me and him have something in common. And I had 4.
You did time together.
Yeah, in spirit. But I had 4 kids, and when I left out of Birmingham County Jail, and that was the last time, I said, I'm not getting, this is not me. And my life will not be, decided by this moment. And that's when I went, and I remember I called my dad as I was driving back from Birmingham, and it's about 45 minutes from Birmingham to Tuscaloosa. And I said, Dad, I don't know what to do. Like, I got nobody. I got to fight these charges. I mean, I'm fucked. And he goes, go to church. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, is there a Methodist church there? I said, yeah. He goes, just go to the church and start there. And honest to God, when I say I crawled, that's a metaphor. But I remember pulling up to this church, and it was like a Wednesday or a Thursday. And I mean, the whole place was closed down. And I knocked on the door, and there happened to be a woman right there. And she opened the door, and I said, listen, I really need to talk to the pastor. Is he here? And she said, yes, he is here. But can you wait? And I said, yes, ma'am, I'll wait. I really need to talk to him. And his name was Ken Donovan. Ken Donovan. And I swear to God, this guy, I almost said motherfucker, this guy saved my life.
Like a sailor.
No, I'm not joking.
Yeah.
I'm not joking with you. Justin, when we talk about faith and we talk about Christ and how much you and I argued about that, when I walked into this church, I've never been to before, and it's a huge church, it's huge. And I walked in there, and Ken, the main pastor, saw me, and I walked in his office, and I just said, I don't know what to do. And he goes, sit down. He goes, tell me about it. And I go, well, I'm just coming out of jail. My ex-wife is crazy, and she's trying to take my kids from me and getting me arrested for domestic violence. And he goes, okay, well, tell me more. And I spent 2 hours just talking, and he listened to everything. And he goes, you know what you got to do? Put your kid in vacation Bible school, and here's the Sunday school you need to go to. And it changed my life. It changed my life. And that moment, I didn't know this, but a year later, I got everything dismissed, everything blown away. I got custody of the kids, and I met my wife now in that same Sunday school. And it was like he just, and I say he, I mean God, put me in the right place at the right time because I gave my life over to Christ. It was the most amazing thing in the world. And I
pretty cool how he works like that.
It was unbelievable. It was absolutely unbelievable. And there's nothing I can do. I mean, I could lift weights. I got big as hell. I got jacked as, I'm still pretty jacked, but I got jacked as hell. And all that didn't mean a goddamn thing.
Not me.
Not one thing. But I'm serious. Not one of it meant anything. And I used to argue with Justin about religion. And he always praised God, and he always talked about God. And I was like, oh, that's bullshit, that's bullshit, that's bullshit. And it's not. It absolutely is not. There is a reason for when you finally give your life over to Christ, you do get good things out of it. And I'm glad that I have this opportunity to tell you that I was wrong. I was so wrong. It's not funny. Like,
listen, man, I love it, David, and I know a lot of other people that are watching. I know a lot of other people that are watching do too. Hey guys, stay on and watch. But I'm gonna let you guys go. Bill, you got anything else you wanted to say?
I miss you, man. I love you, and we need to talk soon.
That's right. We do. I agree. All right, David.
Don't be a stranger. Don't.
I won't.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give some time to another friend of mine that's on the show. So I'll let you guys go. But it's been great.
Hold on a sec. Hold on, Brandy. It was good to see you again.
There you go.
I'm back. Sorry, I had to take dogs out.
Hey, you remember going to my pool, right?
We do.
We did hang out at my pool one time.
It was actually really something that a lot of my kids remember. Like,
yeah.
And they always get it mixed up with other stuff we're trying to talk about. We're like, no, that was Gillespie. That was like way back over there. It's funny.
All right. Y'all be cool.
Yeah.
Hey,
good to see you.
Keep
in touch and listen.
Yeah.
I do. This is just a live show, and it's a free for all. I'm bringing everybody on that's capable and able. But I wouldn't. It would be a great opportunity to do a whole entire show with either of you individually, and just come with ready to talk about life and anything that's going on and any cool things. And with the goal, like I said in the beginning of this video, if you didn't hear it, well, it's just that it's as it's titled, My Life for Your Life. And it's just so you can say something and encourage people. And David, I really appreciate you coming on and talking about all of our times in the past and telling us about that moment of change and humility. And I pray for you right now that everything will continue to grow and mature you spiritually, and you're gonna be reaching for greater heights and climbing that mountain with God, man.
Thank you, Justin. I really do appreciate you.
And if you're ever in Mississippi, the door's always open.
Yeah, Mississippi is the place to be. It's our house. Okay. So I'll see you guys later.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, dude, hit me up when you're ready, man. Hit me up.
I will.
All right, man.
Love you, man. Talk to you later.
Love you too. Yep. Bye.
Bye. Corey! I scared
What's
your
up,
wife.
friends?
You gotta scoot over. You gotta get. I made the camera smaller.
I was taking the dogs out. Oh my
Oh, here,
gosh,
let me-
she is just not even the same child.
Hold on
No,
a second. Let me.
none of them are.
Wait, I can see the
I know. I'm sorry. I gotta.
What? Daily. Thank goodness your wife keeps putting them on there.
Yeah, there's plenty to brag about. This one, she came home yesterday freaking out because she tried something she never tried before, tried out for volleyball. And, smallest kid out there, never done it. Everybody's better and just never. And then just fretting, and Sarah and I, talking to her for like hours and going out in the backyard and hitting the volleyball. And then, she just, crying and all this. And then next thing you know, probably 10 hours later, Liz comes out, her best friend, sends her a text with her name on the team list and all of that for nothing. So
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Good job.
Awesome.
They said congratulations. Y'all met Brandy and y'all met
Yes.
JP, y'all met them when I was at the shipyard. At the shipyard? Remember when I was stationed up at the shipyard? Y'all have been. This was.
And we had a bunch of
All the kids.
kids, and you guys.
Yeah, they had,
Tiny zoo thing.
no. No, it was on the shipyard. Their kids were there. And y'all came up and visited me.
Playground.
It was like, till like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. So this is 6 years ago. So half your life was gone.
It was-
No, that's for you. I'm
No.
not going to give him the video.
Hugs and kisses.
Okay.
Hey, what are you doing, man? What's going on right now?
I just finished my junior semester of PA school, and I'll be, not this week, but jeez, I'm on my break. I have next week off, and then I start my final semester in phase 1 of PA school, and then I'll either go to San Diego or North Carolina to do my year of hospital rotations. I'll graduate that. Do my final national certification. Hey, stop it. Put it away. And put it away. And I'll commission as a naval officer, as a lieutenant JG.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
You excited? How long you been in now?
I'll hit 20 in February. I'll commission at 21. So,
There you go.
but
That's crazy. All right, so you gotta play the same game everybody else does. First of all, hey, be sure to speak up because you're I don't know where your microphone's at, but it's just a little quiet in your ears. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
okay.
It's just a little quiet. But I'm so glad you came on, man. I'm so glad you responded to my invite. You gotta tell everybody the show it's about me. No big deal. but really it's about me and us. And my life for your life is the old concept, and it's literally kind of like that idea. I've been saying this a lot lately. They were saved by the word or by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony in the Book of Revelation. When we go up against the Antichrist. But yeah, go ahead and I'll let my guests usually talk about how they know me. So give it a shot.
Oh. Yeah, we were in the New Hampshire together, and I was Doc, and you were a MDiv chief extraordinaire, and yeah, I mean, some of probably the best memories was anybody that had a voice could always find a conversation with you in one way or the other, and what's crazy is nobody could really match, I guess, ecumenically, nobody could match really, nobody really had a good argument against the truth of the word, and even though that was 6 years ago, I mean, I'm sure we've grown in knowledge and grace, just tremendously. I know I have, Yeah, I mean, we the shipyard. We had many late night conversations, and just understanding the power of grace, power of forgiveness, power of the spoken word, the power of listening, and being in a place where you could rest in the presence. And really, that was, as wonderful as a church can be, or a sermon can be, or a podcast and stuff, but nothing replaced actually being in His presence, because nobody can speak to you like the Spirit can, and nobody can shake you like the Spirit can. And what I love about it is we took a lot of emotion out of it. I think with the Spirit, it takes a lot of emotion out of it. And I know you at the time you were drinking. I was drinking, playing softball, especially. But hold on, babe, I'm talking. Oh, this is Lucy. You hadn't met her yet. She was
Hi,
born in
Lucy.
Hawaii. So.
No, your wife posts pictures of her and
Yeah.
videos, so we get to feel like we've met her.
I know you can't hear them, but yeah, she's in kindergarten now. So, but stop it. But yeah, yeah. I mean, that's really where it was. I mean, that's where we met and everything. And I think, let's see, what's another unique feature I remember about JP? You did or didn't eat pork?
I didn't eat pork. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't.
That's
Because
true.
we had Kyoto on board, who is a non-practicing Jew and acknowledged Jesus, but never crossed the threshold at first, if you could say. But he ate pork.
Yeah.
and then you had you and just the different nuances of the different faiths on board, and really kind of what was cool about it is because with you, there was never, at least in even just listening to different arguments, especially like with Keenan, Keenan always getting into it, man. To me, I didn't feel there was a lot of, there wasn't a lot of judgment, which is what I loved about how you spoke of truth and God and faith and even tradition and even in just like hard, fast old things like laws and stuff. And I just remember that most of being there just wasn't a lot of judgment. And I think it's because you always remembered where you came from. And,
At
and you're
that
like,
time,
man,
it was still where I was at.
yeah, right, where you're at. Like, I ain't trying to judge you. I'm just trying to tell you how I feel. And I think
I don't
that was
know how
really
much
important.
I don't know how much you heard. So, but real quick, let me go, and let me say that for everybody that's watching, now or later, there's a couple people who I think are staying on and keeping my numbers at like 1 or 2 at least. they jump up to 8 every once in a while. That's folks watching. But let me explain for the video's sake and the live feed. I was just telling a testimony about the gentleman that was on when you came on, Bill Steiger. And when I was really, really low there in my Chiefs barracks, one time is when he messaged me right at that moment, telling me about a dream he had. And he said he felt that was time. It was absolutely the perfect time to message me. And it saved my life, probably, maybe. I don't know where I would have gone, what I would have done. But so, yeah, while I was telling that story, I actually said, and it's funny, you messaged me right after I said this. So I was like, either he's listening or he just was, God's got this thing on lockdown. Because I basically said there was only really one person that ever encouraged me in the spirit and to do anything with God and didn't aggravate me. Because most of the time, most church folks, like I'd start talking about godly things and spiritual things, and most church folks would make me want to go drink some more. You were different. I mean, not that I didn't drink with you at times, but it was more like It was more like with us, it was true. Just like you just said. I was like, when you were saying it, I wanted to interrupt you and be like, see, that's why I love you, Frank, because you were like, you talk about how, it isn't about the church, the podcast, or wherever you're at. It's truly about the presence of God. And man, I tell people this all the time, and I definitely share this with anybody, because I got a lot of people most of the people, I wouldn't say most, I shouldn't say that. There's a good group of people that probably watch this show or have been on or who may be on in the future who aren't necessarily believers, or definitely not of the specific label or type that I am. And again, they definitely probably don't have a whole lot of, or you are, Corey, and they definitely don't have a whole lot of experience, or they're afraid of, or they think anybody that talks about the Holy Spirit or the presence of God is a weirdo or a holy roller. Listen, I'm going to tell everybody, just like my friend, my rough Navy friend, sailor, who just talked about his own testimony and the things he's been going through just a minute ago, David.
Oh my gosh.
The presence of God and God's kingdom, his way, his flow and his understanding and his wisdom is truly the only way to go. And at any point in time, when you're not in that and you're not experiencing that, it's miserable. Life's miserable. And here's the funny thing: life can be miserable. Things can be bad around you, and you can literally sit there and be like, man, I mean, I know it stinks, but I wish you guys had what I have, because I don't really feel bad. I still got some joy. I'm still happy. And I really think that's what this is all about, especially when anybody starts talking about like how the world is today, or the end of the world, or I've been talking a lot about in recent weeks and months, just with the family and with friends and stuff. I've been talking about the end times, and I've been on a kick of it really for a while. Always have, but like a recent kick of it has been the endurance. And I think that endurance is only going to come in the midst of all kinds of craziness. The endurance of people in the faith and truly being connected and followers of the way, like the scripture says, and like the book of Acts talks about. The only way you can stay in that and be a part of that is by recognizing that this is a supernatural game, and the presence and the Spirit of God is the real deal. It's not the fake deal. It's the real deal. And I warn everybody. I still, man, you heard it. And then people who have been on the show episodes before will tell you, I've always warned folks, like, look, man, there is gonna be one day, there is gonna be a copycat. And that copycat is gonna say a lot of things that's gonna make a lot of different people follow him. And it's gonna be very, very tricky. And I beg and I plead with my friends and family and even my own children. I'm like, listen, if it ain't the gospel, if it ain't the thing that you heard and that you felt today, and it ain't what you know to be the biblical truth and God revealed himself. Don't believe it, because if you do, you're gonna be that Matthew chapter 24 person. I was talking about it today. We had a little fellowship with some friends today. You're gonna be that. You're gonna be even possibly the believer, the spiritual believer, the believer who believes in the supernatural, like I'm talking about, could very well end up being the person who is what Jesus was talking about when he said even the elect would be tricked. Even the chosen ones would be fooled. So even the people who God has got a hold of and revealed himself to, even those people were going to be fooled. And then he said before that, he said the whole reason why it had to be the time of this terrible trickery and great deception had to be shortened was so that not so many elect would get fooled for the sake of the elect.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
So,
like I had to come back to save y'all again.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no, that's right, man. Like the guy was talking about, this story of God meeting us where we're at has repeated itself since the beginning of whatever word we have to read. He has met us where we're at.
That's right.
And then what's funny, and in every story Jesus goes,
I love it. The family.
Makes
how
me
it's supposed
so
to be.
happy.
and I mean, so, and even like, especially in the Gospels, Jesus, he met people where they're at. He met them where they're at. He met them where they're at, and not everyone chose to follow. He met them where they're at, and then they followed for a little bit, but he met them. What I think is significant is that, yes, he sustains us. Yes, he provides for us, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I think what's really significant, and it's not dependent on our faith per se, because it's really dependent on his kindness and grace, but he meets us where we're at, and then it's up to us to continue that. We either get distracted, we walk away, we stop, we go to sleep. You know, we bury our coins instead of invest them. Like Katie, my daughter, had a dream last weekend, and I was like, "What? Tell me your dream." And she's like, you know, kids have funny dreams all the time. She's like, "This was a weird dream," and we don't do a lot of spiritual stuff in our house. We don't go to church. You know, we witness to our kids, and we teach them, and we share with them from time to time. But and then I had her and Gabe, our oldest. I had a captured audience, and I told them I was like, "Hey, listen, I don't know. This dream just stirred both the parable of the virgins and the virgins that had oil, and the virgins that didn't, and the parable of the master that gave the 10, the 5, and the 1."
Yeah.
And it was just so weird. It's just weird that, and I can't even remember her dream. If I asked her, she could tell me, but it was just really relevant to that. Because it wasn't a ministry ploy or a ministry plug. It was just being a person of faith, not of fear, not of deception, not of denominational preference, but literally, listen, God wants you to go do this, you go do it. If you can be scared and still go do it, you know, you can have no idea what's going to happen and still go and still head that direction, you know, just like Abraham did. And just, I think, you know, one of the cool things, I think Sarah and I really transitioned from our childhood, how we were raised, and how we raise our kids, is I think for us, it's important to use those things as not so our kids can memorize scripture and memorize where it says what it says, but the message of the truth and the wisdom of the scripture. They live it out. You reap what you sow. You know, if you don't do your homework, you're going to get bad grades. And that, and the simplicity of it. And it's like, well, the Bible says this. We don't do all that because nobody wants to hear that when they're young. Constantly, you know. You know.
What?
And it's a huge turnoff. And kids are gonna, people are gonna learn on their own. They're gonna learn the easy way or the hard way. And you know, it's just really great. It's really great to hear that guy, say what he said. I've had several over the years, the same kind of thing come back and say, "Man, you were right," or "Man, it happened," or you believed and you believed and you believed, and I was like, "That's crazy." And all of a sudden, 10 years later, you meet up with them, and they're like, and then it just rattle off all this gospel, and you're just like, "This is not the same. This is not the same dude I grew up with." And you're like, "This is incredible." So, it's really fantastic, and especially in my own growth. That's even in the last 5 years of things I don't struggle with anymore as far as doubting, like, am I good enough? Am I on the right path? Now it's just like, where's the next open door? And it's like, and it's like, even today, like, we got orders to go to San Diego, but we really want to go to North Carolina. And there's all these reasons that we weren't supposed to get San Diego that the Navy put in front of us. And it's one of those things is like, okay, does God want me in the place I don't want to go? Is that what God's doing here? Or is it God wants me to go and I just need to make the moves, administratively to go there and not worry about the financial and not worry about, the what ifs. And that just literally happened today. And I'm just like, and I'm starting to send emails and I was like, am I supposed to do this? Like, I didn't even really ask God if this is, and I was like, man, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what to do right now. I mean, I know what to do. I need to wait. I need to wait for the peace that passes all understanding. I need to be one with my wife as far as on this kind of thing, and not what makes the most sense, or not what's the most comfortable, or not what's the most daring. Oh, God wants to, especially like I get into this, like, God wants me to take the road less traveled. And I was like, in all things. And Sarah's like, well, he may want you to do that, but I don't know if he wants you to drag your kids to do that. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of true. I don't know what to do. So, it's really cool that learning. You want me to go I can go to the front room. Kids are complaining. Dad, you're being too loud. We need to watch your funny cat videos. But
Important.
But yeah, we're in San Antonio right now. We've been here about a year now.
That's cool.
That's awesome. I love it.
And you're the only one. This place is hot. And
We live in Mississippi.
We live in Mississippi. It's got that East Texas weather.
It's like 157 degrees today.
Yeah, it's not just hot, it's humid too. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's been over 100 every day here since early June. So,
Yeah. Rough.
Hey, so for our sake of catching up and for telling the audience, what I'll probably end up doing eventually is clipping what I'm about to say out because it's so significant. But I tell you what, man, I tell people often about you, particularly. So funny story. Recently, after I got out of the Navy, and even right before I said goodbye to you guys, I don't remember. Yeah, it was right before I said goodbye to you guys. After I'd gone to rehab the first time, which that's where the story.
Oh, man, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Well, hold on.
Me, you, and John sitting in the office.
That's right. Yep. So yep. I tell the story about how I was miserable. I was a wreck, and then how I had I blacked out all the time drinking, and how one night I blacked out when you were in chief season. I left my phone out, and Brandy called, and both of y'all were talking to each other, crying about how you were gonna.
I don't know if he was crying. I was crying.
Yeah, she was crying.
I might have been crying. I'm a crier.
Yeah, you were. Well, you did cry eventually. We'll get to that in just a second. But you basically telling her that everything would be all right. It's gonna be fine. He's fine. Trying to console her. And then the next day when I came to get my phone, you shut the door to your office. And this is where you did choke up. And you were like, I tell people this story all the time. You basically said, we can't be friends no more. And I was like, don't say that. Like, if you don't stop this, I'm going to have to report you, or not report you, but what do they call it? Refer you, because
either voluntary or command referred. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and you were like, because I love you too much, and I think you said "damn it" a couple of times, and you told me, you looked at me again and like, I can't be your friend no more. I was like, man, that was the most serious, like, crazy conversation I had with anybody about my behaviors of any type over the years. Was when you said, I can't be your friend no more. I was like, man. And then we cried a little bit and hugged each other. And you said, I gotta get help. And I was like, I will. And it took a couple more weeks before I went and got help. Now here's the funny part. Not really funny, but sad.
It's not sad, it's growth.
It's rough. Yeah.
I said growth.
Growth? Oh, it's growth. She said it's growth.
It's growth. It was rough, but it was growth.
I started drinking again as I was getting out of the Navy. Not like as regular to begin with, but then eventually it just sort of became as regular. Now, granted, I want to say I don't know why, but I was smart enough, maybe. I don't know, just strong enough in the sense, maybe because of what I've been through the first time, to not be blacking out all the time. But I definitely,
that didn't happen.
Yeah. But I wasn't like, it wouldn't necessarily be binge drinking like people would call it, or like just drinking until, it it was too much. It was physically killing me. Literally, I had a GI specialist basically tell me I needed to get a liver biopsy because of how bad I did a fibrosity test where they basically where they punch you with a little machine in your gut or whatever, and through all my attempts to stop, I wasn't and I couldn't because to be honest with you, at the time it's funny. Here's the interesting thing. We had a fellowship. I don't know how much you follow me on Facebook. We had a fellowship, a church inside our house called Olive Tree Fellowship. They're still going strong and still doing things here in Mississippi, but I was the co-pastor. So like even while I was drinking and struggling and realizing I was living, wrong, and I never treated anybody. It's kind of like you said before about that judgment thing, right? I only talked serious about stuff that I felt like I could. You know what I'm saying? Like, but at the same time, I was really open and honest. My co-pastor buddy knew where I was at,
Everyone knew where
everybody knew where I was at,
Very honest person.
And it was really cool. Like even he wouldn't let me. Like I was like, I'm not qualified to be able to do this teaching, preaching thing, and he was like, "Shut up." He was like, "I was like, yeah, but I'm drinking, and the Bible says," kind of like we were talking about earlier. He's like, "You're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing." And I told the congregation a number of times, like, I was like, "Y'all saved my life. Like, if it wasn't for you," because I got to another place where, kind of like I was telling in the last story, last testimony, I got to that place where I was saying earlier that this was the second time I scared myself really bad. Because I had physical like depression, and I'd always felt bad or felt, but I never been like sick because of it. And I literally laid in the bed for days on end. Like a human's not even supposed to sleep as much.
You didn't even get up to eat.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, you were toxic. You were toxic.
Drink, and that's where it was like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't even drink alcohol either. It was bad enough. And after about 3 days, one spell, 3 days, when I really realized this is emotional, like I realized like I'm not, this ain't COVID. Like there's something crazy going on. I went and checked myself into the VA hospital. Go figure. Get this, man. I wasn't even there for 2 days when I checked myself in. A padded room, had the little feetsy things on, like I was like, oh boy, I'm in the loony bin. Finally, this is where I should have been all along. right? Yeah, no, but listen, man, I tell you what, second day there, this powerful woman of God, like spirit-filled.
Miss Eliana.
No, not Miss Eliana. Not yet. That's later. Later. God,
jumping ahead.
It's kind of like you said, man, God meeting you where you're at. I'm at the point now where I'm like, God, you got me. I've given up. I've thrown my hands up and been like, I'm no longer Jonah. I ain't running. I'm out the belly of the whale now. I'm finished. I'm finished fighting. But this crazy chaplain for the mental ward there at the VA hospital, I say she's crazy, man. She's just sweet. She was nice. And she come in, man, and she I started telling her about my story. And she's like, oh, so you're good if we start praying. And I start praying in the spirit. I was like, what church do you belong to? And it was funny. But dude, she right away, man, she started speaking all this life into me. It was almost exactly like the time where I had a breakdown and I went to go see the chaplain there at Portsmouth Naval Shipyard. Man, started prophesying over me. Like I broke down in his office, started crying. He was like, listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, and saying exactly all the things I've always needed to hear when I was messing up. And it was, listen, God's not done with you. You know your call. Like he didn't even know me from Adam. He didn't know me anything other than I was MDiv chief on board. I didn't even tell him my religious background. Like it was I didn't get out of my mouth because I was crying so hard. And he started saying all these things. I was like, how do you know that? Like it was crazy. But anyways, same thing with this chaplain lady. I was like, all right, God, I give up. I quit.
So what you're saying is God never changed his message to you?
No, never.
That's funny.
He keeps showing up.
Keeps
I don't
showing
know
up.
why. I would have quit on us a long time ago.
Here's the deal. And then from there, I went to work and there was some work issues. My life was a mess because of irresponsibility. Not even, it wasn't like, Brandy was there, loved me, the kids loved me. They were just worried about me because I was drinking, because they knew physically it wasn't right. It wasn't good, right? They weren't, it wasn't like it had been before, but it was still bad. And so I go to work. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna quit drinking because all the doctors were like, all the psychiatrists were like, hey man, depression plus alcohol is more depression. Like seriously, and that's what I got diagnosed with was a major depressive disorder. So, anyways, bro, I get into an incident at work. You would think if I described it to you, it was like that day I punched the stairwell. You know what? And let me pause for a moment. I punched the stairwell. I had to go see the doc, and you know what you said to me? It was absolutely the most obvious answer, but the most significant thing. And to this day, I still repeat it in my brain. When I came to you and I told you that the reason why I did it was because some of the dudes in the Chiefs quarters had really pissed me off. It wasn't actually the guy that I was yelling at. It was other people. And when I told you that, you go, Justin, when are you going to stop trying to expect these people to live like they're born again when they're not? And I was like, shut up. Dude, I will never, to this day, I like, you literally, I think you said it 3 different ways in that same 2 minutes. You were like,
Yep.
they're not, you can't expect people to act the way that you do.
Okay,
It's
Dad.
not,
Look
it's
at
not,
this turkey.
they're not like you. And I was like, but they should be. And the man, it really hit me like a ton of bricks how dumb I was being. So anyways, now fast forward, and I did it again. You know, I expected everybody around me to be loving and caring and kind and understanding. And when they weren't, right, I got mad and I got into an argument with my supervisor. And I started basically yelling about everybody and everything on my workplace. And you would have thought, right, that any other average Joe would have gotten fired. But probably because of the situation, circumstances, and some things in my life that everybody sort of knew about, that I had been struggling with for a while, and probably because of some of the people that were there, I didn't get fired, man. Not only did I not get fired, but I had to talk to the psychiatrist. The psychiatrist basically was like, oh yeah, you got to go to rehab if you want to stay working here. I was like, not again. No, I'm going to be that dude. I'm going to be that dude that's like, this is my second time in rehab. You know, I was like, I don't want to be that guy.
You earned it.
Yeah,
You
I
earned it.
needed it. Yeah, I earned it. You're right. I
You
needed
did
it.
earn it.
I needed that humility, man. And it was the same thing, and even better this time around. I met people. Hopefully, some of them out there. I definitely invited some of them to this. You know, they're good friends and people I would stay in touch with. And I had a guy there. It was so funny. I was like sitting there. I was struggling the first couple of days. Like, if I say I'm an alcoholic, doesn't that mean I'm a drunkard? You know, and drunkards aren't going to inherit the kingdom of God. Like, how can you
That's
keep
right.
on putting up with me? You know, I kept saying this stuff to God. And I was like, how did people before AA deal with this? and this kid came up to me and he actually had the same questions. And he literally, I say kid, sorry, he wasn't a kid. He was just a little bit younger than me and bigger than me, too, big old dude. And he was like, and he was struggling with the same thing. He was like, I don't feel like I can ever be good because of this addiction. And I was like, wait a minute, man. What are the 12 steps? They're literally like laying down your life and saying you don't have the power and ability. Everybody should do that. That's the gospel, bro. And he's like, you know what? You're right. I'm like, yeah. Why are we being so stupid? and so, dude, from there, you know, some bad things happened afterwards that were sort of like totally unrelated, but they weren't really bad things. It just seemed that way. I really feel like it was God directing our path and putting us where we need to be. Unfortunately, feelings were hurt and some weird things happened in the I wouldn't say weird. They were just silliness that happened inside the congregation we belonged to. I stepped down from leadership twice, 2 times essentially. It was basically like, I can't do this. And then when I came back, and basically God had said it to me literally almost as loud as that, like one of them audible voice moments. He was like, I told you to get away. And I was like, whoa, you know. And the second time could have been worse if I hadn't listened to his call, so to speak. And then after that, like I prayed a couple of prayers, and my prayer life just has gone through the roof in general. It has been for probably about 2 years now. And he started directing us in ways where I'm still kind of standing back going, what's next? Like, what am I about to do now? type deal.
Yeah.
And I was saying earlier, tomorrow morning. I'm preaching at a church, at a Sunday church, by the way, a regular old Sunday church. They're kind of Church of God, and they know what I believe, and they know I'm crazy, and they asked me to come preach anyways.
They're good people.
They're good people,
Good.
and yeah, man, lots of cool things potentially there. Open doors, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I think I'm stuck in Mississippi, at least for now.
We'll see.
Kind of like what you were talking about with your life in North Carolina and where you're going to go and all this stuff. I think if I tried to do something different than where I'm at and just sort of letting God direct us, then I'd be in trouble. Kind of like what you were talking about earlier.
We're not moving without God this time.
Yeah, we're not. I'm done with that. Like I said, I gave up. I gave up about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Well, good.
That's what's happening, man. And I'll tell you, you're a big part of my multi-year testimony of God getting a hold of me and kicking me in my butt more than once. And you were definitely the foot he used one time.
Well, good. That's
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe not. That's wonderful, man. I mean, wow.
Yep.
That's
right.
That's wonderful.
Good stuff.
I love being Doc. I'm gonna continue to be Doc in a different capacity. Until he tells me not to. I mean, yeah. I don't know if it was letting go or just. I think there's a difference, and this might be your next phase. And I'm not speaking into your life right now with the word or nothing. So I'm not saying, oh my God, but I will say this. There's a dramatic change of confidence and peace and growth when you go from God, I'm letting go and letting you have it, to God, I know what you want, and I'm gonna do it. Mm-hmm. There's a dramatic shift in like, look at Saul. There was a dramatic shift, and it took 13 years, I think, somewhere in that range is what we figured out, 13, 15 years between conversion, development, and then like his first missionary journey or whatever they call it. There's a dramatic shift of I'm done fighting, and now God, and I surrender, and now I am on a certain path, and I know what he wants. That's a dramatic change in the relationship between a son and a father. Well, Dad just tells me what to do. I show up here, Dad just tells me what to do, and I show up there, and Dad just tells me what to do. At some point, we want to be in a place where said, I know what my father wants me to do, and I'm just going to go do it.
Yeah.
That's a tremendous.
It's a growth thing for children. Like, I mean, I know that's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
But when we took a parenting course one point where a guy tells a story about how it really fits what you're saying. He tells a story in his first explanation of like what it means. He had this thing called ICE, instruction, correction, and execution.
Awesome.
Right. And he basically was like, this is what you have to do with your children because they have to understand to accept the consequences for their actions. So you have to execute the part of the instruction you said would take place, and the consequence if they don't do it right, or they're never going to learn to take responsibility. And he said over the years, his son would take out the trash, and it was his job. If he ever forgot to take it out to the road, his punishment would be, you have to when you finally you have to wash the trash cans out, clean them out. That was his punishment. His punishment was you have to clean the trash cans out. And he said multiple times his son, over the years would not take out the trash to the road, and he would have to be like, "Did you clean out? Did you do this? Did you do your punishment right?" Or you have to make him do it. He said he remembered when his son started to become a man and truly started to like understand and relate to him the right way as the parent, as the instructor, right? He was like, he got home, he saw what it was like. years, son had never forgot to take out trash. He's a senior in high school. He forgets one day, and actually the dad was actually he felt bad because he's like, oh man, he's got so much going on. He's got a job, he's got this happening, he's got all these things going on, and he gets home from work and he sees his son getting the bucket and the hose out and the brushes, and he was like, that's the day. That's the day I knew he started to become a man, because he literally was like, he accepted responsibility for his own self, right? And I mean, I hate that I'm 40-something years old and I'm just getting there.
Hey, but you're getting there. Some people never do. And that's
I mean, I heard that story. I heard that story when I was like 27.
Yeah. I do that with my kids, like, especially my older ones. When they're proactively doing what they're supposed to do, I'll join them.
Yeah.
Because I think I don't know if that's what God does, but I feel like that's what He does. Like, when I stop doubting the path that I'm on, when I stop looking over here and I look over there and should I be doing this, or should I be doing that, or should I have done that, or should I be, when I found just in the last few years, applying to this program 2 times, and that's with, I had a fine career, submarines, had a fine path to Master Chief and retiring and blah, blah, blah. But that's not what I wanted to do. That's not what I was called to do. And I had all this stuff of, oh man, I can't believe you're doing this. And, you have your mentors and your people that are on your side, like, oh, you're going to be great. You're going to be great. And go do it. And having other guys like wait. And what's some of my best mentors, I'm pretty sure he's a priest in Santeria. Was it an island religion or maybe witchcraft? I don't know. But chickens and stuff, He's one of my best mentors. He's one of my best mentors, no joke. And I remember I was flirting with this idea to go into the nurse corps. I'm going to go to the nurse corps. It's going to afford me this opportunity. It's an easy way to this. I'll be home for 3 years, going to school, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just working on it and building a package. And like 4 months go by and I learn everything I can. And I wake up one day going, I don't want to be a nurse. I never want to be a nurse. I was like, and I looked at him and I was like, hey, Mike, I was like, I don't want to do this. What was I thinking? I was like, and he looked at me and he goes, I was wondering when you were going to figure it out. I was like, he goes, you ready to be a PA? And I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. You've known that for, and he goes, okay, so go do it. And I was like, man, and you're wondering like, why didn't you tell me sooner? Why didn't you pull my head out of my ass? Why didn't you kick me? No, because, we have to figure that out. And when you're, what's crazy is how long we're on the path before we realize it's the right path. That's what blew me away for the last 10 years. Is why did it take me so long to realize I'm on the right path? Why did I doubt? He didn't give me a reason to doubt. He never gave us a reason to doubt. But and what's crazy, I've been successful this whole time. Praise be to God. Family, health, kids, all kinds of fun. Dude, we moved to Hawaii. We lived in a Navy lodge for 4 months. We went to a temporary house for 5 weeks. We didn't get to our final house for 6 months on island. We had a baby. And yeah, it was the right path. And it was a crazy duty, but it was the right path. I applied. Didn't get picked up. Poor me, this sucks, but now I got to go back to sea. And get out there, do the job. My cobb was a Christian man, like real faith Christian. My captain, real faith Christian man. Like these guys prayed together. They did, and I was just like, what are the odds? Well, they're pretty good if you're in, if you're in God's favor, right? So
right.
And,
we know that.
You're realizing that, yeah.
And then putting in the package again, really just was like, yep, I've got to do all this. And yeah, we're going to have to move 4 times or 3-4 times in 5 years, something crazy. I mean, we're just like, that's hard. That's hard, but that's the path. That's the path. And then getting here, and I'm in a class with 75 people of all kinds, all branches, commission. Dude, I got academy grads from the Air Force. I got West Point grads. I got all kinds of special force guys. I got super whiz kids, and I'm like scraping an 85 for the semester. And I'm like, yeah, let's go, And I'm talking to these, a lot of the guys I'm with, naturally, just hang out with some of the believers and you study group I'm with, and seeing them grow just by sharing, like you said, why are you freaking out about these guys over here? Why are you complaining about the pigs playing in the mud? That's where pigs belong. That's what keeps them cool. That's what pigs do. Horses do this, pigs do that, trees do that. You do what you're supposed to do and take responsibility for your actions, good, bad, and ugly, and hold them accountable for their actions. That's all you can do. And so I don't take anything personally. Like, a lot of people are getting butthurt about programs and life and struggles and this instructor and this and what ifs, and not me. I don't struggle with that anymore. I don't, I just don't, In the last 2 years, the biggest significant things that I've changed, and Sarah has been somehow still with me, is sexual freedom, and reading some really good books about being a safe and healthy man. Another great neuropsych book I read recently in the last year or so, or 2 years ago, it's called The Body Keeps the Score. And it's a book on trauma, but it's a book on how the brain changes neurologically and hormonally, how it changes to trauma, and how, people repeat trauma in their life, and they go from one traumatic event to the other, one traumatic relationship to the other, just by default. They don't even have a choice, because it's just it's ingrained in them, and then learning different things of why do we go back to that sin? Why do we go back to that addiction? Why do we reach for the bottle? Why do we reach for the internet? And really learning through that, and being bold enough to go and talk to a counselor. The best thing I ever did for my marriage was individual counseling.
Agreed.
Best thing ever did happen to me was individual counseling therapy.
Yes.
And it was a retired chaplain in Washington, and she was Dr. Meg. She's and she's like, "Oh, you're a big bad chief, huh?" And I was like, "No, not here. No, ma'am, not here." And she didn't. And she called me out, and she punched. And she did it with such love and grace. She did it with such wisdom and kindness.
Yeah.
But she didn't take my crap.
Yeah.
And she was also counseling Sarah independently.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was able to feed and receive from both of us, and just really, man.
Hey, so guess what I'm doing? I'm going to college I'm going to get my bachelor's in psychology. Then I'm going to get my master's and become a licensed counselor. I'm already 2 semesters in.
Social worker?
Yeah, but not necessarily a social worker.
Sure.
It's technically kind of like a social worker, but it's a licensed counselor. Mississippi, all it requires you to do to be considered a psychologist is to get a master's degree in something that says counseling. So you basically can become a licensed counselor in the state with a master's degree, and I'll be able to do it all with my GI Bill. I have struggled. I've learned some painful lessons, but I'm also, guess what university I'm going to? I'm going to Regent University. The 700 Club, Pat Robertson's university.
Is it really?
Yeah, and he just passed. I don't know if you saw the news about him.
I saw that.
But, yeah, it's tough. It ain't easy, and I had I got to repeat a couple of classes already, but that's just because I just wasn't really ready for it in life. Yeah, it's been tough, but I'm gonna go at it from this point on and get nothing but straight A's. But
well, who cares? Who cares? Really, it's about focus. It's really about focus, JP. Right? I got here and Chief season took off. And I can speak to you personally because you understand. And a lot of these other chiefs that aren't in the program, they're in the broader command. They're like, hey, your new chiefs need to come do this. And I was like, no, they don't. I was like, they have one mission. The Navy sent them here to be PAs and naval officers. Well, they got selected. Cool, they got selected. We're doing 24 credit hours a semester every 4 months. 24 college credit hours. A full-time student usually about 15. Someone that's really doing a heavy class is 18 hours. We're doing 24 to 25 semester hours every 4 months, and it's insane. And so the new class showed up, and I looked at all these new sailors. That some of them are going to be chiefs, or some of them are chiefs, and I said, "You have one mission here, as in it is to become a PA. That is why you applied. That is what you're here, and you can make a decision. You can let the distractions pull you from that, and whatever pulls you from this school is going. You're not going to make it because it literally demands." I said, and then you organize that time, and the rest you make sure your family has it. I was like, if you have two priorities, those are the priorities, because that's what the Navy's asking you to do, and your family is always going to be there. It has to be there when the Navy's over. And I said that to a chief straight to, man, how long you been here? I've been here a year. You've been in the command a year? Yeah, I'm up at the schoolhouse. Well, I've never seen you. And I was like, well, I got two priorities, and that's school and family, and I ain't got time for anything else. And he just looked at me like, how dare you? I was like, man, like I'm supporting the people on their mission. If the MDiv chief needs blah, 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 I'm going to support him on his mission to be successful. If the cook down the road needs this, whatever, I'm going to help that guy on his mission, whatever it is. I think spiritually it's the same thing. When we start assigning a responsibility to people, when we don't have the authority to do so, we're putting our feet and our noses in places it doesn't belong. When I'm looking over here what they're doing, and I'm looking over here what they're doing, I'm not looking straight ahead, and I'm going to run right into a tree. And guess whose fault that is? My fault. Yeah. So your focus, if you're supposed to go to school and you're supposed to be a licensed counselor, then everything else you put your focus on is wrong. And you get to choose. Oh man, I shouldn't have. And it could be a 2-hour movie. It could be.
Hey, you just called him out hardcore.
Lay off the TV and the movie. No, I'm just kidding. That's
you know what I'm saying?
That's definitely it, man. Yeah,
and whatever the last thing I'll say on that, and this is just a quip that I've heard recently. Whatever we choose to focus on is what we choose to ignore.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Whatever I choose to focus on, I'm also making a choice to not focus on.
Yeah.
And your support circle may be really small, but it's going to be really strong because they're not going to struggle. What's up, baby?
Reagan didn't ask to make popcorn.
Reagan can do that. She's 12. She can get popcorn if she wants. Okay. Thank you. Love you. And I think, like Sarah's going to school full time. She's going to go be a nurse or a nutritionist or whatever she wants to be. Like, that's her focus, and she don't even know, and who cares? That's what she wants to go do, and who am I to distract that and not support that? So like, Katie wants to go in the Air Force. Gabe just kind of wants to go to college and maybe have a part-time. Okay, cool, man. That's what you want to work on. Let's do it. Like, and so I spent so many years wondering about my own destiny instead of living it. And I just think that's crazy. And alcohol does nothing but distract you and depress you. Yep. Certain friends distract you. Professional accolades and popularity, or you know that game. Yeah. And like, my eye on the prize. If this is the path, by design, the financial security is going to be tremendous. That's wonderful. If something happens and it doesn't happen, okay, I think I'm ready. I'm finally at that point that something tremendous happens and it all just goes to crap tomorrow. Okay, let's roll with it. It's gonna suck. It's gonna hurt. But I'd rather it be of him than me self-sabotaging. And it's if that's the thing, man, then if that's what the path you're supposed to be on, then every other path is wrong. And that's where all the peace is. You know that. That's where all the peace is.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. I don't disagree at all. I just I still gotta pay the mortgage. but don't get me wrong, I can do it. I can do the thing, the list of things I feel truly like led to do are not, at least at this point, I can't even determine what would need to be dropped off because I've been doing so much other foolish things. Like, my focus has not been where it needs to be. You know what I'm saying? Distracted to say the least. So that's definitely where I gotta change things. Hey man, we got somebody that's out there. We're gonna have some company real quick. You ready?
Oh man, I know that face.
Look at that beard. Look at that ginger beard of his.
What's
What's
up,
up,
man?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah, man, you're good. Your sound's coming through loud and clear. What's up, my Thunder buddy?
Hey, Thunder buddy. Not much. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. See, I've been talking to Doc over here.
Excellent.
Yeah, man. Had a couple of conversations tonight, and me and Corey have been chatting it up for a little bit. So, how long you been watching, Mike? Just jumped on a minute ago.
I saw you post something today, and I
Yeah.
just hopped out of the shower and got on Facebook, and I was like, oh, let me hop in there. So not long at all.
Good. I'm glad though. Really glad. Soon, better. What does that say?
Better late than never.
Better late than never. That's right. That's it. That's what I'm trying to say. Man, I gotta start taking some more brain drugs, like some more fish oil or something.
Yeah.
I'm getting too old too fast.
Oh,
Lion's mane.
Lion's mane.
That's
Yeah.
dude. So to keep up with this school, I take something called Alpha Brain, and it's like
That's a Joe Rogan stuff, right? He sponsors that.
He put it, and like I don't listen to his podcast. I mean, every once in a while I'll see a video, but I was looking at all the different kind of nootropics and like Nugenics and Alpha Brain and all these other ones, and I tried it for like 2 or 3 weeks, and I could tell I'm sitting in class. If I don't take it, I'm way less focused on my notes and the lecture, and I'll like pick up my phone and chat with my buddies and sitting behind me. But when that stuff's kicked in, like, I mean, it really, for a good 4 to 6 hours, it really helps. If I really need to study hard, I won't take it in the morning, and I know I need to study in the afternoon. I'll take it later in the day, because once it really puts in. But here's the thing. If I take it, I don't need to study. Whatever I get hooked onto, I'm hooked onto it for a good 4 to 6 hours. Like you could take it before like going for a walk, and it doesn't like give you energy. It just, man, it helps like block. It just kind of puts everything else in the periphery and
Go to the bathroom.
Oh, go to the bathroom. You haven't needed me to the bathroom for months. What do you? Let me turn. Oh, this bathroom has bugs in it sometimes.
Uh-oh.
All right, bug check.
We're living out here in the country in Mississippi. We got bug problems too. I haven't sprayed very well this past year, and so I need to get on it. All right, Mike. So here's the deal. You got to play the game. The game is so. First of all, I don't know. Have you watched any episodes?
I've seen bits and pieces of some, but not a full one.
Okay. So that's what everybody says. Ain't nobody got no time for nothing.
What are you talking about? I got all the time in the world for you, but
Oh, so what you're saying is I'm just not interesting enough there, Thunder Buddy.
yeah.
I'm just kidding, man. I'm messing with you. Hey, so basically for the audience, and Doc knows who you are, but for the audience and anybody else out there that watches in the future, you got to tell them how we know each other so that I don't have to do all the talking. And, just this whole thing. I always say, I joke around, it's about me, the show, right? It's my life for your life. But really what it is about my interaction with everyone around me and everybody that's ever made me good, made me have anything to offer anyone. And but the game is, how do you know me, what you think about me? And you can say the worst of things or the best of things. But yeah, go ahead, give me a spill.
Yeah, so of course I met you on the illustrious USS New Hampshire. So my twilight tour in the Navy, I got there in 2017. Actually, that's a lie. I met you, good Lord. I don't know what year it was, but we met at Mike Jennings' house.
That is right. Yes.
Yeah. So, which is funny.
I forgot about that. Oh
Yeah.
man.
It's funny.
Woo!
I just spent the last weekend in Connecticut with him.
Did you really?
Yeah, I flew out to Ledyard and hung out with him on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We went to Boston. That's where I got this hat. Yeah, we went and saw a Red Sox game, and
Nice.
we were talking about you actually. So,
what's he up to?
he is at Ship Soup in Groton, building submarines. He's a lieutenant now. Yeah, and he's got another 2 years there, and I think he's headed down to Virginia. Don't know what carrier. He's going to be I don't even know what their positions are. Some sort of maintenance officer on board one of the carriers out there for his. I think that'll take him to retirement.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was when I first met you, but it was in passing. I think I may have seen you also at Christopher's with Bobby Stearns and some other people when I went out there to meet up with them.
That's right.
You were undoubtedly
the
there.
Christopher days.
If it was Christopher's with that group, you were undoubtedly there. So, but we didn't really know each other until I showed up to the USS New Hampshire. I joined on deployment actually before I was officially stationed there. I think you were still there, yeah, in late 2016. And then officially transferred there in February of 2017, and the rest is history after that.
That's because Dan.
Yes.
That's because we had the medevac Dan off.
That's correct.
Yeah,
He had
Landry.
second
I barely
kidney stones.
I barely got to know the guy.
Yep. He took my spot at the Fighty, and I took his spot on the New Hampshire. So.
That's right.
I made him filter his urine for 3 days until the damn results came out.
Yeah.
Downstairs.
Yeah.
A filter so you could catch his stuff.
I wanted to see him.
That's funny. Well, come on now. That's how we know each other, Mike. But
Yes.
you got to talk a little bit about me.
Okay. So, it was my second Chiefs tour when I showed up to New Hampshire. And let's see, my first impression of you, what was it? I think it was a rough time, and I think you had just damn near broke your hand punching something right around that time.
No, he broke it.
He broke it?
He broke it.
Yeah.
Boxer fracture.
That was after that. I think that was earlier. That was before I came up, but the impressions of that event were still in the air.
And on that piece of sheet metal he hit.
Yeah, but
And on the wedding ring you can't wear.
but no, I mean, I think we hit it off fairly early. We identified that we had the common people in our naval careers that we both hold in high regard. Those mentioned before, Bobby Stearns and Mike. Obviously, if I spent $1,000 to fly out to go see him for a weekend, I must think there's something redeeming about him. But so yeah, I think we hit it off right away based on, if we knew these people and we like these people, we must like each other. Quickly got accustomed to the Lawversations and getting wrapped up in those in the Chiefs quarters, telling stories about life and religion and music. Shared shared some music, and yeah, so right off the bat, we were good to go.
Yep, that's pretty much how I remember it too. And I really liked your style too. You were always wearing nice clothes whenever we went there. You liked the hippity hop music,
The hippie hop.
but you also liked some good like you introduced me to some good music for sure.
Yeah.
All right, I want to hold on for a second because we got a special guest on the show to join us in our little chat and conversation here. This is Shane T. Wright. Hold on, Shane, you're not there we go. Yeah, okay, you muted yourself.
No, I muted it because I didn't want to interrupt, man. What's going on, brother?
What's up, Shane T? How are you?
Oh, shit, man. If I was doing any better, I'd need a twin just to handle it, man. How's everything going?
Oh man, it's going good over here. Let me explain to Doc and Mike Garland who this is. So back when I was a young buck in the old power school, I ran into a guy by the name of Josh Hedrick. That Brandy's maiden name is Brandy Hedrick. And Josh Hedrick, eventually through a series of circumstances, I decided that these good old Southern boys that all hung out together weren't too bad folks, and I needed to go hang out with them. And one of those fellas was Shane T. Wright, this gentleman right here on the screen with us. And we have got some stories. Boy, I tell you what, we lived a wild, crazy life in Power School there. And
Oh, yeah.
we haven't talked to each other in like verbal, like other than on Facebook. And
God, so many years.
man, y'all think it's been long since we've talked to each other. This is like we're at 20 plus years now for sure.
Well, he
Yeah.
knew us before we were married, and
Yeah.
we've been married for 23.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
We've been married for 23 years.
Damn, has it been that long?
yeah.
Yeah, man.
Dang, that's,
23
you
years.
sure? No, I guess you're right. Man, that's nuts. Yeah, well, that's true. It was probably 99.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, 90. Yeah, damn. Well, my bad. I'm glad to see you guys still together and doing good, man. That's great. Y'all are in Mississippi, so you're not too far, man. I'm right across the Alabama state line. I'm in Florence, Alabama now. So,
Okay.
yeah, I retired from the Navy, and now I work at the Missile Defense Agency and everything. So, yeah, I'll tell you the stories that we have. I don't know that I can tell.
I don't know that I remember half of them.
Oh, I remember everything. Is the statute of limitations run out? That's the main thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Very, very true.
there's, yeah, you got to go get the grill. You still got it?
I don't actually. I pawned it.
What are you doing? Really?
We got 6 kids to feed.
Man, I needed the money.
Dude, that's a work of art, man. You can't do that. All right, so for you guys that have no idea what we're talking about, we're not talking about a grill you cook on. We're talking about a grill that goes in people's mouths, right?
Oh,
So these two dudes, they were banging one of your friends, wasn't they, Brandy? You know. So anyway, so
Yeah.
they come over there, come to the wrong house, and then one of them pretended he had a gun. I was drinking, if you can imagine that. Now I don't do that quite often, but you know,
I just want to say I was still in high school, and so was this kid.
yeah. And we're Navy, you know, again, probably what 21, 22 at this time, right, Justin?
Oh, I was. You were older than me.
That's
I
true.
was like,
He was
Yeah,
not
you were
old
older.
I was-
enough
I
to
was
drink.
I was
19.
buying him beer at the time. So.
that's right.
So the first time I met Justin was, well, I mean, I'd met him in Power School and everything. You know, I was there all the time because I was on 35 Jack 5, so I knew everybody. So I lived in that subbitch. So basically, the first time I hung out with Justin was we were going to Josh's to party, and I rode with him in his little blue truck. What was it, a Nissan or something?
Toyota.
Toyota.
Yeah.
Toyota. So we were driving from Charleston, South Carolina to Rockmart, Georgia, probably 8-9 hour drive, something like that. And that was the first time Justin, he introduced me to Kid Rock and a couple other things. Remember, I made you play Ball with the Ball. How many times? Probably like 30 times I made you play that song. So that was the first time I'd ever heard it, you know. So we get there and we're shotgunning beers, and it's a big party. I mean, there's a ton of people there, and these two dudes show up, and you know they, I can't remember what started it, but basically one of them pretended he had a gun. I run out there on him, or both of them, and I'm the only one out there because everybody else thought they had a gun. This guy had his hand like behind his back, and I was, I had my knife, and I was just like, shoot me, you son of a bitch, and I was like, go ahead, I'm right here, dude, and so then I grabbed the tire out of the back of your truck. You remember that? Oh no!
Yeah.
They grabbed the tire and threw that at me, and I grabbed the tire iron and started chasing them down the road. And then so that goes on. Josh comes out, gets a hold of me, gets me back in the house. He's like, "You gonna get killed," and a bunch of stuff like that, right? So anyway, they leave, and then they come back, and then we actually did wind up fighting that night. And then Chris Mock kicked this dude in the mouth and knocked his grill out. And we found it.
No. Hold on. He didn't kick him in the mouth. He flipped him up and
power bombed him.
Power bombed his face into the road.
Yeah, I mean it was a hell of a move, but that was hilarious. And Justin had this thing for years. I can't believe you went on. Hello.
We had it for a good 10 years.
You got the thing for 10 years.
It's a good souvenir.
So I hear him. The girl that he was with, they had he was great.
Oh yeah,
it's a long story. I could tell the details pretty good too. But they had this like I love you, hate you. They used to beat each other up. They had restraining orders against each other. It was crazy.
Have you guys seen The Other Guys? The movie The Other
Redneck
Guys?
Love Story.
Yeah, the other guys.
Yeah, remember Christina? That was this girl. She's Christina.
Look, I love Amanda. She's an incredible girl. To this day, incredible girl with incredible kids. Just want to put that out there.
Yeah, she has done very well.
She's done very well.
I couldn't remember her name.
Continue on. Sorry.
But she's on the phone with this boyfriend, Terrence, and I hear.
What's her name?
Oh yeah, sorry. Oh, anyways, yeah, you already said Amanda.
That doesn't matter.
So she's on the phone with this guy, and I hear him being like, my grill. And so I was like, she didn't know I was still awake, and I could hear him on the line. And I was like, So the next morning I go out and look around, and I collect I got 10 watches. Yeah. There's been such a bad fight. I was collecting wallets and all kinds
spare
of
tire.
stuff. And I thought about
35 lighters.
Yeah, I thought about it, and I had remembered seeing Mop do this crazy move, and I had then heard him tell her that he couldn't find his grill. So I was like, maybe. And I go out to the road, and sure enough, there it was, just lying there. And I was like, okay, it was $400 worth of gold.
It was real.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
My kids ate on it for a little while. It was nice. We appreciate it. Struggling 10 years ago.
Where are you at right now?
Mississippi.
We're in Terry, Mississippi.
Terry.
30
minutes south of Jackson.
Okay, gotcha. So near Meridian then.
No.
Well, Meridian's north.
Meridian's only about an hour and a half,
Right.
Not even that, maybe an hour and 15 minutes away from us.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah,
Well, I'll get down there and see you guys. I was just, I couldn't get in. I'm sorry. I didn't know what to do I was looking around. I was like, well, I'm not sure,
Yeah, I should have said, the problem is I sent everybody an invite to the event, but I got all flustered when this thing first started. And I because I changed places, and then my son comes and tells me that 3 of our chickens, 2 of them are our best egg laying chickens, and one of them was a brand new rooster who was turning out to be beautiful and a good rooster. Died today in a small chicken coop. And it's 1 because they didn't have water, and 2 because for some reason they were dumb and just stayed inside the little chicken house instead of getting out where it was cooler. And it was like a small coop. It had ventilation, but it ain't enough. And so, man, I was so like, I got on about 2 minutes late, and I didn't send all the studio invites that I wanted to. And then you liked the video a second ago, Shane T, and that's why I was like, oh yeah, let me send one to Shane. But,
so we had a northerner, Pete Damiano. He had never shot a shotgun before. So we're walking through the woods, and Josh and I, and you were there too. We had bird shot in this little 20 gauge pump, right? No, it was a 12 gauge pump. And, we were shooting stuff, shooting birds and stuff. And we were looking for mistletoe. So Pete Damiano, he might have weighed, 130 pounds soaking wet. So we slipped a double-aught buckshot in there to shoot a mistletoe out. And we're like, no, Pete, you got to put it on top of your shoulder. Put it up there, And it put him flat on his ass. You remember that laugh, man? That was, God, man, such good times. I mean, I got so many stories. I hate to even tell them. It's like, yeah. I have this miraculous ability. I remember all that stuff. I actually got pictures of everything too, so I can break those out.
That's not
the Halloween party.
We were like 100 pounds ago, if not more, though.
Oh,
we look great in those pictures. I guarantee it.
150 pounds ago.
Yeah.
Most people do it 25 years ago.
Mike, where are you?
Oh my God, we're old.
I know, Mike. Where are you at right now?
I'm in just outside of Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
Are you working at a nuke plant?
No, I work for.
Ooh.
You work for the evil Google.
The Google.
Yes, sir.
The Google.
Yeah.
Don't say that. They'll cancel it.
I know. Sorry.
Cut the feed. Cut the feed.
I say Google.
Yeah, I've been working there since I retired at the end of 2020. I started there September 2020. So, yep, work at a data center out there. It's wild.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I mean, probably half of my coworkers are ex-nukes, or retired A gang senior chief, got 4 or 5 retired nuke chiefs, a bunch of guys that were 8 years and out, 10 years and out. So it's like it's like I never left the Navy.
What about you there, Shane T?
I work at the Missile Defense Agency. I was in the airlines for about 15 minutes, and then COVID shut my airline down. So I'm a government employee at MDA. So GS-13 over there. So doing my thing.
I heard you. That's where you work. So you're GS. You're 13.
Yeah, but I'll go back to the airlines. I'm going to do this for 5 years and get my second retirement, and then go back to the airlines. And I mean, I may go sooner. They've upped the pay and everything, so I'm just just kind of hanging out. Loving my Saturday night. Are you guys bourbon guys?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Come over, man.
What you got? Blends?
Yeah,
that's a lot of blends.
That's the collection, but yeah, I'll show you the collection. I'll go upstairs and show you my bar in a little while. But man, no, any friend of Justin's is not a friend of mine. No, I'm kidding. No, Justin's a soft dick, man. You can't beat him, dude. He is like, I've loved Justin forever, And I mean, again, the weird thing about us is, and me in particular, is I just don't have to talk to people ever, but they know I'm a phone call away. You know what I mean? It's like I'm probably way up high on your list of people that you would call if you needed something for real, so it's like,
True.
That's right. You good people. Good people, Shane.
But again, it's not like I talk, and I'm like that with everybody, you know what I mean? It's like, I didn't realize it'd been so damn long, man. That's nuts.
Yeah.
has been. We've had 6 kids, and almost all of them are grown.
Yeah.
Our baby is in 10th grade this year.
I've never even met your kids. That's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. You met Madison.
Yeah. Maddie. She's 24.
Well, of course, Madison, but yeah, but
in New York.
yeah.
24, right?
But our kids we had together. Yeah.
I met her when she was 1. You know that ain't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's doing good up there in upstate New York still.
She's doing really good.
She's loving
Upstate
life.
New York. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that's where we were for 14 years.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, that's like home for her.
Oh,
That's
at Boston Spa. Is that where you were?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah. We were in
Scotia.
Scotia, New
Right
York,
outside of Boston.
Yeah, Schenectady.
Man, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
we bought a house there and got stuck there, and that's how I met these two. Was I was stationed on board the first the Mississippi. Go figure. I commissioned the USS Mississippi there, Shane T.
Yeah, I'm from Mississippi. By the
During
way.
that commissioning, I called that, hey, I think we're going to live in Mississippi for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, I don't like talking about that. I like talking about how you got us trapped here in this wonderful state. Sorry, Shane.
Some
I know
call it heaven, some call it Mississippi. You know what I mean?
It's 157 degrees right now.
No, it's not even about that. But it is hot. She's right.
Yes, it is.
It's hot. There's bugs. I love it. It's wonderful.
It's bugs. But anyway, like Mike was saying earlier, I met him, through some friends. We had some common friends, and then we ended up on the same boat together, which was great. And then Doc was my spiritual brother for a good period of time there on board the New Hampshire. We definitely connected and related, even though I was a chief and he was a first class. We had some common faith that kept us, confiding in each other. And,
He also has like 5 of the most beautiful children you will ever meet. 5, right? You have 5, we have 6. Am I right?
Yeah. We got
Did all of
that
you
now.
guys retire?
Yeah, so I did. I keep on pointing at the screen. It's
You do.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I do too. Like you're,
Just look at my finger. Just look at
Yeah.
my finger.
I don't know what's wrong with me, man. Sometimes I feel like I'm back in 3rd grade.
He doesn't even
Anyways.
drink. I don't understand.
Yeah, and I'm sober. I can't drink anymore. I ruined my opportunity. So, anyways, Mike, retired electrician, new. Doc up there, you're at 20 right now, right?
Yeah, I hit 20 in February, and I'm in the PA school, down in San Antonio, the joint base. There's a
He's gonna
PA
be
school officer program. So
Yeah.
when I finish this up, I'll be Lieutenant JG at 21 total years.
so you got picked up for LDO?
It's the medical side. On the medical side, it's
MSC.
it's a full. Yeah.
Yeah, I ran the boards for that. I went to
Nice.
Millington, and I was one of the people that ran transfer redes as well as LDO, CWO procurement boards. So I was the guy that
Very
did
cool.
along with all promotion boards and everything. So yeah, that's really cool. I know
Very
exactly
cool.
what you're talking about.
How
Yep.
far-
Congratulations, man. And like I say, it's I now went to recruiting, and I'm a hell of a recruiter, man. I'm like talking to people in line at Walmart, be like, dude, what do you do? Why don't you go join the Navy? But yeah, I break out the pay charts. I'm like, hey man, if you retire as a master chief at 24, this is what you get, at chief warrant officer 4 or 5 here, but lieutenant commander, you know what I mean? That's
That's right.
it's pay.
That's right.
So
Where'd you make it, Shane?
congratulations.
Where'd you make it, Shane, in rank?
Lieutenant commander. Yeah, and I mean, I would have made 05 and all that and kept climbing, but the airlines, again, as a helicopter guy, I didn't think I had a shot at the airlines, right? So then they come out with this RTP, program where the airlines could use my helicopter hours. So hell, all I needed was 200 fixed wing hours, which I was really close from flight school. So, they waved a bunch of money in our face, and then, I get there, I'm getting ready for my very first flight, and then COVID hit, and the entire airline, Trans-States Airlines, shut down. So it's a regional. They flew the Embraer 145. So if you've ever been on a plane where you got the single seat on the left and then the two on the right, that's probably an Embraer 145. It could be a CRJ, but probably not. It's probably the Embraer. So, but anyway, it's I'll go back some of these days. I'm just kind of, I like my job. I work with C2BMC and the Missile Defense Agency, so we're kind of the glue that holds everything together. We're the network that connects shooters and radars along with the satellites, OPIR birds and stuff like that. So the system that all that passes on and makes to talk, and so that the sensor operators and people like that can see what's going on, and that's C2BMC. So that's what I do. But again, as a government guy, I just kind of oversee. I don't really do anything. I just kind of like
let's go to meetings, talk about plans.
I just travel around and check shit out. That's really well, I mean, I did do some stuff at Thule, so I just got back from Greenland, Pawtucket, Greenland. So again, we went out there and set up a TP2 radar. I could talk about it now since it's over with, but so we put a radar up there, just basically showing that we could, but that was sporty. Yeah, Greenland, it's an interesting place, but man, this is really good, man. I'm so glad to see you guys. This is awesome.
It's good to see you too, bro.
Yeah, it is. I looked it up. You're 5 hours from us, so
okay.
The door's always open.
Well, I'll come down. I mean, I got a house in Pensacola I go to every so often, so I'll take the long way and come down 45.
Oh, wait. I would rather meet you at the beach. Just to I'm kidding. Oh, sorry.
Our dog
is this great, sweet little old man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right here at my feet.
Lucy.
Oh.
This guy right here ain't making it much longer. He's been with us for a while. Look, speaking the truth.
This is doing so fettuccine Alfredo.
He's on his way out.
He's an Italian greyhound. He's nuts.
He's spoiled.
He's very spoiled and very
bougie.
Weird. And he's sitting over here begging, and that's what he did. He's like clawing.
He'll paw at you.
And he's just clawing for just in the air, and he just grabbed the cord. It's like, look here, goober. Man, well, look, guys. I know it's getting late. I don't want to keep anybody. I'm glad to see y'all. I'm glad you came on the show. We're getting close to. I've been up doing this for 2 hours and 40 minutes now.
And he's preaching tomorrow, so he needs to relax.
Yeah, and
tomorrow morning. Go get your mind right.
Yeah, people believe that. They let me get behind a pulpit. They asked me to do it.
Wow.
Nice. Well, we should be as a preacher before I, come on and started cussing and talking about.
Oh, stop. Good, man. I had a buddy on a little bit ago that was on the Mississippi before he got mentally discharged or something like that. I can't remember, medically discharged. But he came on here and was talking about how much he loved Jesus, and he was saying the F word and other things like that. He's a new believer.
It's okay.
Me and JP spent many hours drunk and talking about God. So
and
outside, So when your heart's right, when your mind is messed up, your heart can still be right. So
Amen.
And sometimes it takes a while to get your mind right too, and that's all right.
Like long time.
Like 25. I don't know. Maybe 25. We'll see.
If you wake up, you got another chance. That's what that means. Right. So, but yeah, I love you, man. Love you, Brandy. Mike, good to see you.
Hey,
awesome, man.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Great meeting you guys.
Put these kids to bed, and
it's awesome to have this kind of dynamic. By the way, this is a good dynamic right here. These are some people that mean a lot to me.
Yeah,
I love it.
My pleasure.
I love you guys.
We'll do it again soon.
Yeah.
So good to see your face after 23 years.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. We'll
love
see
you guys.
y'all.
I'll talk to y'all later. All right.
Hey, man, we'll keep in touch and get together.
Absolutely.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, buddy.
If you're ever this way, don't play around, man.
Get off this thing.
If you're ever south,
I'll find a way to. I'll find a reason to be down there.
Okay, then come on.
Come on.
All right.
You can stay here. You don't have to get a hotel.
And look, man, even though I'm not drinking, you can bring all the bourbon.
I can cook. I still drink.
And she still
All right.
drinks.
All right. All right.
We got a lot of good
Brandon,
times.
I'll tie one on. All right.
Friends.
All right. All right. I ain't lying. I'll talk to you soon, JP.
All right, later,
Okay.
mate.
Dr.
Bye.
Bye.
Later, St. T. Woo, boy, that was awesome. So listen, this is this is it, guys. It's been going on for a while. I've been at this for a couple of hours, but I love it. And definitely going to do it again some point in time for sure. Who's still out there watching? Got one person, it looks like.
Is it me? No, I'm just kidding.
Is it you? It's probably
No,
one
I'm
of the kids.
just kidding.
Man, but it's been great. This is what this show's all about, right? It's about catching up with some old friends and talking about serious things and talking about fun things, talking about life, and making sure that that if there's something out there, something that you've been through, something that I've been through, that you can relate to or that can help you. That's what it's for, and it definitely apologize to all those people out there who might think it's a little preachy, but I'll tell you,
It's just real life.
yep, it's what I have learned, that preachy or not, God is all that matters, and His ways and His thoughts are so much higher than ours, but they are something you can look towards and strive for, and love and care for your neighbors and your friends and family. It's the way to go. And that's what I've learned from even people who may not necessarily read their Bibles or call themselves church folks. But either way, listen, reach out, catch me on Facebook. If you're on YouTube, you can leave me messages there as well. I'm going to get back to inviting people on and having more lengthy interviews on particular topics. And I'm also going to start doing just a lot more shows in general. So, hey, keep it real. Come back someday for another law conversation. And we love you guys. And I will see you in a couple of days for sure. All right. Good night, everybody. Bye.
Night.